The year was 1972. The Vietnam War raged, tearing families apart. Ho Van Thanh, a North Vietnamese soldier, lived with the constant threat of violence. One day a bomb struck his village, his home destroyed, his wife and 2 children killed instantly. Thanh was left with his infant son, Ho Van Lang, and an impossible choice. The world outside was deadly. The only hope was escape. He took Lang and fled into the jungle, leaving behind everything he knew. The jungle was wild and dangerous, but safer than the war. Thanh traded the chaos of bombs for the perils of nature. With his son in his arms, he vanished into the dense green, determined to survive. The jungle became their only refuge. Than's decision was desperate, but it was the only way to protect his last child. He left behind the ruins of his life, seeking safety in the unknown. The jungle was unforgiving, full of wild animals, poisonous plants, and relentless insects. But Thanh believed nature's dangers were better than man's. He was not just running from war, but from a world that had betrayed him. The thick forest swallowed them, and they became invisible to the outside world. Than's only goal, keep Lang alive no matter the cost. He was determined to build a new life hidden from everyone. The jungle was now their home, their prison, and their hope. Every day was a fight for survival. Than's love for his son fueled his will to endure. The world they left behind faded into memory. In the heart of the jungle, a new story began. It was a story of loss, but also of resilience. Thanh and Lang disappeared into the trees, leaving the world to wonder if they had ever existed at all. Their journey into the unknown had begun. The day the world ended was also the day a new life started. For 40 years, the jungle was their universe. Thanh and Lang became shadows, unseen by civilization. They built a treehouse high above the ground, safe from predators. Every day was a lesson in survival, hunting, foraging, and growing what little they could. They learned to identify edible plants, set traps, and make tools from war debris. Their diet depended on what the jungle provided: roots, fruits, small animals. Clothes were made from tree bark, pounded and woven into simple loincloths. There were no clocks or calendars. Time was measured by sun and season. Lang never learned to read or write. His father and the jungle were his only teachers. Their isolation was total. No news, no visitors, no hint the war had ended. The jungle was their home, school, and world. Every day was a struggle, but also a testament to their ingenuity. They became experts at reading the forest, adapting to its rhythms. Their lives were stripped to the essentials: food, shelter, survival. The outside world faded into myth. The treehouse was their fortress, the jungle their only reality. They survived storms, hunger, and loneliness. Their bond grew unbreakable, forged by hardship. The jungle shaped them, teaching lessons no school could offer. For Thanh and Lang, this was life, raw, relentless, and real. Civilization was a distant memory, replaced by the endless green. Their story was one of survival against all odds. Over the years, Than's family grew in the jungle. He met a woman from a remote tribe. Together, they had 7 children. These children knew only the forest, no villages, no roads, no outsiders. Their world was a clearing. Their toys were sticks and stones. Survival skills were taught from the moment they could walk. They learned to hunt, forage, and build shelter. Their language was a blend of core and words they invented. There was no concept of school or money, only family and nature. The children played, worked, and survived together. Their bond was deep. They relied on each other for everything. The family was a self-sufficient tribe, hidden from the world. The older children cared for the younger, sharing every task. Their existence was closer to ancient hunter-gatherers than modern humans. The jungle kept their secret for decades. They were a family lost in time. Jungle life was a daily battle. Dangers lurked everywhere: wild boars, venomous snakes, and disease. A single mistake could be fatal, far from any help. Thanh taught his family to read the jungle's signs and use traditional remedies. The forest was their pharmacy. Leaves for wounds, roots for fevers. Weather was another enemy. Monsoons flooded their shelter, dry seasons brought thirst. They adapted, learning every spring and stream. Illness and injury were constant threats. Even a small cut could be deadly. Beyond physical dangers, isolation took a toll. Thanh carried the weight of loss. His children knew only each other. Their world was small, their focus survival. No stories or songs from outside, just the jungle's lessons. Mental strength was as vital as physical skill. Decades of solitude forged their resilience. Their greatest enemy was the unseen, loneliness, and the unknown. After 41 years, their hidden world was discovered. Local foragers spotted two wild-looking figures in the forest, Thanh and Lang. Rumors of jungle people became reality. The foragers reported their find. Soon, a search party set out. Deep in the jungle, they found the treehouse and the two men. Thanh was frail, Lang confused and afraid. Strangers spoke a language Lang barely understood. For the first time in decades, they faced outsiders. The moment was tense, shock, fear, and disbelief on both sides. The search party realized they'd found a living link to the past. For Thanh and Lang, it was the end of their old life. The jungle's secret was out. They were brought back to the village, their story spreading quickly. The world was fascinated, the family was overwhelmed. Their isolation was over, replaced by a flood of attention. The discovery was historic, but for Thanh and Lang, it was terrifying. They had to leave behind the only world they knew. The jungle chapter of their lives had closed. A new, uncertain journey had begun. Civilization was a shock. Thanh and Lang were thrust into a world of noise, lights, and crowds. Lang, overwhelmed, struggled to understand anything. Their story became global news, but they felt exposed and afraid. Doctors found them physically resilient but vulnerable to disease. Psychologically, the change was even harder. Lang was like a child in an adult's body. Modern life was alien: electric lights, strange foods, unfamiliar clothes. The rest of the family, less isolated but still unprepared, joined them. Adapting was a struggle for all. They had to learn everything from scratch: how to eat, dress, and interact. The world was confusing and frightening. The family retreated inward, overwhelmed by attention. The shock of this new reality was immense. Adjusting to modern life was slow and painful. The family received a government-built house, but it felt confining. Lang missed the jungle's freedom, often gazing at distant mountains. Everyday tasks, using a toilet, cooking, socializing, were new challenges. Lang struggled with trust and understanding people. Work was confusing. Survival in the jungle had been clear, but jobs and money were foreign concepts. They tried farming, but their methods were outdated. Lang felt lost, but small victories came: learning to ride a bike, watching TV, smiling more. Thanh, older and frail, never truly adjusted. The children adapted best, attending school and making friends. The gap between their past and present was wide but not unbridgeable. The villagers helped, but the family always felt different. Progress was slow, but hope remained. Lang began to find moments of joy in the new world. The children embraced change, building a bridge to the future. The struggle for normalcy was ongoing. Their journey was far from over. The Ho Van Thanh family story is one of resilience and hope. For 41 years they survived with nothing but ingenuity and each other. Their journey from jungle to village was a new kind of struggle. Thanh passed away in 2017, never fully leaving the jungle in spirit. Lang continued to adapt, finding strength in facing the unknown. The family's story challenges our ideas of what matters most. They had no wealth or technology, but they had each other, and a deep bond with nature. Their experience reminds us of humanity's roots and resilience. The younger generation now embraces education and opportunity, carrying their legacy forward. Their spirit, forged in the wild, endures in a changing world. Even after unimaginable hardship, hope survives.